Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel, where I'm always breaking down the hot sports topics of the day. So be sure to check out my other videos and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube to get all of my videos delivered directly to your inbox. I'm continuing my NFL playoffs previews and predictions with the NFC Championship Game matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Atlanta Falcons. The game will be played in Atlanta. Atlanta has home field advantage. They'll host the 49ers. Both teams coming off pretty emotional wins in the divisional round. The more dramatic game, certainly the Falcons' victory over the Seahawks, in which they held a 20-0 lead, only to find themselves down 28-27 late. They get in position for a 49-yard Matt Bryant field goal and win 30-28. San Francisco had a much easier time with the Packers, winning 45-31 by way of a very impressive Colin Kaepernick performance in that game. So we have the stage set, Atlanta hosting San Francisco. From San Francisco's perspective in this game, I look for a couple things to happen offensively. One, I look for Kaepernick to be able to definitely pick his spots and be successful with those planned runs against the Falcons. Will he have 180 yards? No, I don't believe that, because I think Atlanta will learn a little bit from the tape and what Green Bay had to go through last week. But if you look at Russell Wilson in the divisional round, he picks his spots a little bit more than Kaepernick does to run the ball, but he still had 60 yards and a touchdown running the ball. So I think the lanes will be open there for Kaepernick. From an offensive standpoint, though, for the 49ers, I think they need to get other receivers a little bit more involved. Crabtree was heavily involved, 9 catches for 119 yards in the divisional round against Green Bay. I look for Atlanta to roll a lot of coverage to him, because when they look at the stats and they look at the targets, he was heavily targeted in the game. They didn't really need to pass it to any other receivers or use any other receivers because of the success Kaepernick was having running the ball. But I think this week they're going to. And I look for San Francisco to highlight Vernon Davis a little bit more in their game plan. And I only say this because Zach Miller had over 140 yards receiving for Seattle in the divisional round versus Atlanta. So look for Vernon Davis to have to step up to be that number 2 threat in the passing game. And as always with the San Francisco offense, their bread and butter is Frank Gore and that offensive line. And I look for them to sort of try to set the tempo early. Their front line, other than Kaepernick in the divisional round, were definitely the players of the game. I mean, they were simply dominant against the Packers. I think Atlanta's defense is better than the Packers. And as I said before in my divisional preview, I think Atlanta's defense plays a lot better, in their building, but I don't think they're leaps and bounds ahead of the Packers defense. So I look for San Francisco to be able to do some of the things they were able to do against Green Bay, just maybe not to a level where they score 45 points in this game. From a defensive perspective, the 49ers, again, they've been playing a certain way all season. I don't look for them to deviate too much from that. A big matchup for them is going to be, how do their cornerbacks succeed against Roddy White and Julio Jones on the outside? That's one thing Seattle was able to do very well in this game, was to limit those 2 receivers. I don't look at San Francisco's secondary and most notably cornerbacks to be as good as Seattle's, but one thing that can sort of alleviate that pressure on the cornerbacks, as we all know, is the pass rush. The Aldon Smith, Justin Smith, is he any more healthy than he was last week? But even Aldon Smith and the other pass rushers, what kind of pressure can they get on Matt Ryan? I think that's going to be the matchup of this game. The 49ers pass rush versus the offensive line of Atlanta. Because I don't think Atlanta's going to be able to run the ball and establish the run like they did against Seattle on this San Francisco defense. So I think it's going to come down to that matchup. Matt Ryan threw the ball down the field a lot in the divisional round. He's been throwing the ball down the field a lot the entire season. In order for those routes to develop, you need time. So is he given the time to let those routes develop? And can Matt Ryan win now a playoff game where I think it's going to come down to his ability to pass the ball and move the ball consistently the whole game to win? I don't think the running game for Atlanta is going to be much of a factor in this game because of the 49ers' success in stopping the run all season. We'll see how this plays out, but that's how I look at things from a 49ers perspective. From an Atlanta perspective, offensively, again, I know they're going to try to establish the run. That was a big point of emphasis the announcers were making, that Dirk Cutter, the Atlanta offensive coordinator, was going to go to Michael Turner early and often. They did. Turner had success running the ball today. But I think in order to win a game, to win an NFC Championship game, I'm a strong believer in whatever whatever your go-to plays, whoever your go-to players are, they're going to have to make big plays in order for you to win. So I look for this game to be a lot in the hands of Matt Ryan and the Roddy White, Julio Jones, Tony Gonzalez. Are they able, with their backs against the wall and there's pressure on them, when the run's taken away, are they able to move the ball on this San Francisco defense? And Aldon Smith, I'm sure, will be a point of emphasis, okay, for the Atlanta offensive line and offense as a whole this week, and stopping all of the other blitz schemes that San Francisco may throw at them. From a defensive standpoint with Atlanta has to do a better job against the scrambling quarterback. We saw them get eaten up by Cam Newton when they played them in the regular season. We saw them against Russell Wilson even. Russell Wilson, again, 60 yards and a touchdown. The running quarterback is a lot more involved now when you're talking about playing the 49ers as opposed to the Seahawks. Can they limit Kaepernick? Is Kaepernick going to have those runs where he rips off 20, 30, 40 yards at a clip? Well, if he is, I think Atlanta could be in for a very long day. I think Atlanta knows now that from a passing perspective, that San Francisco, they're not limited in the fact that they can't pass the ball, but maybe they're limited in the guys that Kaepernick feels comfortable passing the ball to. And I think a big deal in this game is going to be, is Kaepernick able to spread the ball around a little more? Or is he going to be a one read? Read's not there, I'm going to pull it down and run. That's what he was doing a lot against Green Bay. Does Atlanta have a scheme or devise a scheme to protect against that? I drop back on Kaepernick. One read's not there, I take off and run. Is there going to be guys from Atlanta there waiting for him? Can they develop a scheme to counteract that? I think that's going to be a big matchup in this game. Kaepernick pulling down and running. And I also think, like I said before, the Atlanta offensive line against the pass rush of San Francisco. I think those are going to be the two matchups that are going to determine this game, because I don't see Kaepernick passing the ball and really shredding Atlanta, and I don't see Michael Turner being able to get established running the ball like he did against the Seahawks. So those two matchups I think are going to be pivotal. Again, right now, San Francisco is installed as 3-point favorites on the road in the NFC Championship game, which is rare. It shows you what the odds makers think of the performance of Kaepernick and the 49ers. And maybe that, like I don't think Atlanta really played great in the game against Seattle, but they won the game. So there's no denying that. Does Matt Ryan and the Falcons come out and that hurdle has been cleared? Do they play a lot more free because they did win a playoff game and finally get over that hurdle, or did they just not play well or that well as a whole on Sunday? And is that a precursor for things to come in this game? We're going to see, and it should be exciting. Right now, I like San Francisco minus the 3 on the road to beat Atlanta and advance to the Super Bowl. Be sure to check out my other picks here. Let me know what you think of this pick. You like San Francisco? Do you like Atlanta? Let me know what you think. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. Be sure to subscribe to my page to get all of my videos delivered directly to you. Check out my other videos. I'll be previewing the AFC Championship game, and then after next weekend, I'll definitely be previewing the Super Bowl, so be sure to check those out. Hit me up on Twitter at SNewsAnalysis. And as always, guys, enjoy Championship Sunday in the NFL. Enjoy it, because we only have 2 weekends of football left now. Enjoy that game, and as always, thank you for listening, and have a great night.